don't step away from you to fulfill what other people want to hear, because you're not a jukebox. You're a creative human being.
Moi j'en ai marre, je vous l'ai déjà dit. Y a pas que moi, y a surtout les esprits. Jusqu'à la mort, c'est ça la vie.
We from the old school, don't let them rope you. You running things, stay in your lane, wishing to smoke you.
Grenade à la zone. Ça qui mourit, ça fait ailleurs.
Books that we used to go to look at the books summary, and what we forgot to
Go
read
ahead,
books
go
so that
ahead.
we could do the what do you call
I
it?
got
So that
you.
we could do
The
the book report.
report.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, here's the thing. So Russia hacked an election in 2016, and all of the intelligence for the U.S. have confirmed that Russia did that. However, I guess Russia have something on Trump, or maybe Trump is just like he has tasted power, so now he wants some more. Um, he's just doing a lot of weird things that's like benefiting Russia, but just fuck all of like America over. Now, the latest thing that he has done is that he has been pushing this whole conspiracy theory that instead of Russia, it was Ukraine who hacked the election. And Joe Biden, who is running against him, well, who's like in one of the Democrats in the primary right now, what he did was he got Giuliani, who is his personal lawyer, and Ambassador Sondland, who is the UK ambassador, to have like a separate back channel um, and Ukraine affairs. So instead of having like our ambassador to Ukraine and like envoy to Ukraine to take care of affairs in Ukraine, he has like separate people like doing their own shady shit in the background with some dude named Lev Parnas who already got indicted for bribery and election charges, fund charges. And then so Congress passed a bipartisan bill to send some money to Ukraine, who is actively in war with Russia right now. So what my dude did, he held up the money,
Right.
and first of all, he laid the groundwork. There's this lady, Ambassador Ivanovich, Mary Ivanovich, who was the ambassador to Ukraine, who is like this upstanding woman who knows what she's doing, who is like, like the reason why I got my
Good at her
feminism
job,
on.
yeah.
Anyway, so she's doing her job, and Giuliani, and some other people in Congress, which we're gonna get to it in a little bit.
Right.
Giuliani, some other people in Congress, and then some shady people in Ukraine, including a crooked and who was it, like an investigator or prosecutor, started to run a lot of like smear campaign against Ivanovich, like saying a lot of things that are not true about her, and they're going on Fox News, they like doing an
Of course.
interview in the media to make her look like she's shady, and then they replaced her. I mean, they fired her. So then when they got done firing her, there's like a little bit of gap where they could go and start like their back channel before they bring
Right.
Ambassador Taylor into the picture. So Ambassador Taylor come in, he's this upsetting guy too. He takes notes and all that jazz. And then he find out there's like a back channel that's just like they're doing their own thing, which does not involve US national security at all. Now, so what my dude Donald did, he went and called Ukraine and say, "Yo, Ukraine, I know you want that money for like military and shit, but my boy Joe is about to run against me in the campaign and shit. I'm gonna need you to go on live TV saying that you are starting an investigation into this company that Biden's son worked at in Ukraine. And I also need you to announce on live television that you are about to investigate the 2016 election, because instead of Russia hacking the election, we're just gonna say it was you that did it." So that has been going on, and somebody who is a whistleblower fucking blew the whistle and like, fuck that shit. This is crooked.
Right. Right.
So when Congress find out that the money was being held up, Congress was going to do an investigation. So
Mhm.
2 days after they were gonna do the investigation, Trump released the money to Ukraine.
How convenient.
Right. So he released the money to Ukraine. So Ukraine never really got to do that video like on TV saying
Right.
that they're
Going
gonna
live. Yeah.
investigate
Yeah.
this because right, right. So now here's when it come like it gets juicy, right? So all
Mhm.
like when the news broke, all of the Republicans like on TV and Congress are like, no, there is no quid pro quo. He didn't say quid pro quo.
Favorite
They're such
phrase.
idiot. They don't even know what quid pro quo means. You know,
Mhm.
like they wanted to make dumb people think that if Trump didn't say the words quid pro quo
That it's not.
on like
Yeah.
then it's not. It's like when you're talking to somebody, you don't have to say, I'm gonna murder you in order for it to be murder. You can just say, I'm gonna put a bullet in your head. It still means I'm
True.
gonna murder you.
The same
But
damn
anyway,
thing. Yeah.
so they were like, yeah, there's no quid pro quo. And then Trump was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, I want them to investigate. And then Mulvaney, who is the chief of staff, and also I think he has a job into like some finance thing. I don't remember. And he was like, yeah, like he did mention to me that it had to do with the investigation of Burisma. We do it all the time. Get over it. I guess because Trump all the time always use that, oh yeah, I did it, so what? So maybe that's what they
Mhm.
were trying to use, but that shit blew in their face. So he came back and he said that's not what he said.
Oh wow.
Now, Congress subpoenaed all of these people trying to ask them what the fuck. And a lot of them, like the State Department is telling them not to appear for the subpoena, but a lot of them were like, no, we are patriot. We're gonna go down to Capitol Hill
Yeah.
and then
Right.
we're gonna snitch. We're gonna rat these fuckers out.
Mhm.
So then, like when you're watching those
Hearings.
impeachment hearings,
Mhm.
you'll see that most of the Republicans, they don't really ask questions. They
Oh
just make
my
like
God.
grandstanding speeches.
Piss
So, like,
me off.
they keep bringing up the whole hoax, the whole conspiracy theory that it wasn't Russia that hacked the election, it was Ukraine, and blah 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 blah. Now, here's the other thing. Trump is inviting them to Camp David to wine and dine them, inviting them to the White House and shit. And because Trump had a perfect call, which he said like Mitch McConnell told him it was a perfect call. When they asked McConnell, Mitch was like, we never had that conversation. So things are not looking good. Here's the
Mhm.
other thing. We are now starting to find out that it wasn't just Trump that was in on it. The State Department was in on it. Mike Pompeo
Oh, I did not
and
know that part.
the Justice Department, the Attorney General William Barr was also in on it because he
Okay.
mentioned them in the phone call. And turns out that like just this weekend they released like a bunch of emails between the State Department and the White House connecting with Giuliani, and he was part of the reason why Mary Ivanovich got fired. And then also turns out the ranking member in the House, who is part of the Intelligence Committee, who has been in the hearings talking about, oh yeah, it's a bunch of circus and bullshit. Turns out he was also in on it. When the Democrat won the House in December, you know, like after the election, they don't get in the House until like January. So between that gap, what he did was he went to Vienna to meet with that prosecutor Luchenko to get dirt on Joe Biden too. So when Ambassador Sondland came in and he was like, yeah, like this was no secret, everybody was looped in. You should have seen his face. He started his speech by saying, like, Ambassador Sondland, like, we're sorry that you had to come down here for this circus and blah blah blah. What we're
Mhm.
gonna see today is that people are gonna try to smear you because Ambassador Sondland was like deep in that shit. And they thought that he was
Mhm.
gonna lie for them because he was part of the thing with
That's
them.
why that shit
But
was so
that dude was
explosive.
like,
Okay.
hey, hell no,
Okay.
I'm not going to jail. So he came in and he just
That's what he said.
named, he
Exactly
was
what happened.
naming names, girl. Like that what was that guy named Tekashi 69? That
Yo.
bitch was worse than Tekashi.
That's just like,
So
but I love how you guys already knew which three idiots I was talking about.
I mean,
'Cause
there's a lot of idiots, but those were like the top idiots. So
those were the top three that were pissing me off. Not because they did. It's like they didn't say anything. They wasted their motherfucking time. And they didn't even want to stop when it was their time to finish talking and give the person the chance to fucking answer the question. First of all, they did not ask any
So we're
questions.
talking about Devin Nunes, Jim
Radcliffe,
Jordan,
Jim
and
Jordan.
No,
Nene,
they did
right?
not
Just
ask
to
any
throw that out
motherfucking
there, Jim
questions.
Jordan was part of
Oh
a
my
wrestling
god,
team for a
what's an
college,
asshole?
and the one of the doctors were raping the boys, and he knew about it. It was brought to his attention, and he didn't do anything. So don't be
Are
surprised
you
that this
shitting me?
guy is going to bat for somebody like Trump because
His
I
face
mean,
looked like a serial killer anyways, so it makes sense.
ooh.
I'm dead
Stop
ass.
it.
Have you seen his face? Like this nigga look like he eats rats for living. Like, come on.
I mean, there is a
I'm
Ooh,
Radcliffe in there,
pissed.
so
drag
I mean,
him.
he's just his voice is just
Ugh.
annoying, and the
That's why I
way
say
that
he
he
eats rats
speaks
for
to you,
living.
he doesn't speak to you. He speaks at you, and he's
No.
always talking about guess what, guess what. Like nobody fucking cares,
Yeah.
bitch. Like
And first of all, if you're gonna take the time to speak to that person, at least speak to that person. They always trying to use their little time to make a speech to America. Like, America, look what happened. Like, yeah, that's not why we here. Oh, I congratulate you for what you've done for the country. Okay,
and then
then you should
proceed to
believe
just
every
like talk
fucking
your
thing
shit
I'm
to these
telling you.
people.
Yeah, if
Um,
you know I've
I
done
mean,
a
it's not like
good
they don't
job.
believe it. It's not that they don't believe it. More than likely, they're in on it already, so they know exactly what's happening. It's not lack of belief. It's more first trying to cover yourself. Second, they care more about winning an election, so it doesn't matter who they have to pander to. And third of all, they just don't have the balls to stand up to Trump.
That it pisses me off to the limit. And also, if like you asking the person to prove something, oh, there's no proof, there's no proof. You asking me why there's no proof? I'm here to tell you my side of it. I'm here to tell you my truth. Why are you getting on me for shit that was done that I just happened to hear with my own ears, that I just happened to see with my own fucking eyes? Like, why are you mad at me for helping you
Well, they're more
knowing the
mad
damn
about
truth?
the fact that the truth came out less than they are mad at the fact that the shit happened. Because if you watch closely, all they care about is who is the whistleblower? Why did the whistleblower do this?
Yes, they kept
And
asking
that
that
it's
fucking
like,
question.
okay, so why are you mad at the person who pulled the alarm over the person who actually fucking set the place on fire?
Yeah,
But
the person
also
who did the
because
deed.
like they can't really find an actual defense for this.
Then
That's
don't
why they're
defend
kind of
it. Do your
focusing.
job.
They don't defend it at all. They can't. So they can't, therefore they have to be mad. And that's why I'm really happy that at the very fucking list, Democrats managed to win back the House. So that like you remember like when I don't remember which guy it was that came in and really was kind of like yelling at Sondland and telling him, then you're basically not telling us anything. Like you don't have any proof because the president basically didn't spell it out for you that
Mhm.
you had to, we're doing a quid pro quo. I'm gonna need you to bribe
Yo,
this
did
person. Who the fuck
he
talks
did
like
say
that? You
that?
don't
Nobody
I said
talks
that.
like
exactly
that.
talk like
I
that.
said I don't
And I
want
was so
nothing.
happy
I
when
said I don't want
And
nothing.
then like
Adam
they
Schiff
showed
stepped in, and Adam Schiff was like, I'm just gonna, take a minute, and he can take a minute because he actually is running the shit. So I'm like, at the very least, you can do that because
because that's one of the reason why the Mueller report never got anywhere. It's not because it
hmm
didn't have substantial
it's
evidence.
in the
There's
Senate.
at least like 8 people who got indicted or in prison right now because of this. But it's because the Republicans didn't really run an inquiry. They just wanted to just
No.
like televise weird shit going on where they look like they're doing something when they're doing nothing at all.
And they're trying
Um,
the same strategy now, but it's not working, mostly because Democrats, get to kind of moderate it and say, like, yeah, like, y'all are bullshitting right now. And they
that's
can
why
say
Ben.
that in
Bullshitting.
real time instead of like after at like some press conference or some shit.
And it's so funny that they were talking about, oh yeah, like they always keep bringing the Mueller report because they're like, oh yeah, nothing was found. Like, no, you did nothing about it. And second of all, they keep talking
Mm-hmm.
about, oh yeah, like secret meeting, secret hearing. Dude, you are part of the committee. You can go
Mm-hmm.
in. This rule was established by your party.
Mm-hmm.
So what exactly are you mad about? Like, because a lot of people don't watch the news. I mean, a lot of people don't really
Mm-hmm.
read. A lot of people don't care about the news, and they
Mm-hmm.
count on their like representative to tell them what's going on or something like that. So they just because what I do is I watch the news everywhere, and I go read the news everywhere. I go on Fox and PBS or whatever to see how they're spending it. And
Oh my
you
god.
see those people who say things like, "Oh yeah, all I'm hearing is hearsay," and it's like, dude, do you even know what the definition of hearsay is? If somebody
Yes.
can overhear your conversation over the phone, that's not hearsay. That's them actually
Hearing the damn thing,
hearing
yeah.
with their own ears. It's not like somebody told them the conversation happened. He could hear the
And also,
conversation.
this is not a courthouse. Like, like you don't need that like specific burden of proof here. Like, it's
First of
hearsay.
all,
That you're
I
not
mean,
trying
they
him. Like,
admitted
this
it
is not
That's
a
what
themselves.
courthouse.
I said. Why they felt like they were trying the people that were just here to give the
Right. Like,
information
they
that
just
they
Trump is
have.
it's the
saying that he
testimony.
did
Like,
it,
this is what I have, and that's
and
that.
Yes.
those
You
people
have
And
are saying that he
questions.
didn't. Like, how can, like, I stole something and I'm saying I fucking stole it. So what? It was a perfect theft. And then my mom is like, nah, she's a sweet girl. She would never.
Hmm.
She would never do
that's
such
the
thing.
problem. They don't even question like,
And
well,
that's
where
the
were you that
thing.
day?
And that's
What
the
did you
thing
do that day?
with the and that's why, like, I get what you mean, Nessa, when you're like, this is like just like, what the fuck? Because for me,
Yeah.
like, I'm right there with you, but like, I'm addicted. Like,
Me
I was a
too.
poli sci major, so like watching the news is something I've been doing for like a decade. And I've always and that's just what I do. But it's like something I can't stop. But I feel you with that. So like, I watch. It's a kind of like being like a robot. Like, I put that shit in, I plug it in, right? And I'm like, oh, like, that's the shit.
Here we
Yeah, yeah.
no.
And then and then that's it. Like, because I'm like,
I get
it's
too
like it's like
angry.
you're fighting. It's like you're fighting with reality at some point. Because like, for me,
Yes.
this is the thing, right? I study language, right?
Mhm.
And it's like you're having this, and I feel like that's something that journalists are also having. It's like this existential crisis between like, okay, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. This is what's happening. And everybody can find a way to spin reality.
Oh my
And you'll find
god.
people who are telling you, like,
Is
huh,
this the
maybe
real
they have
life?
a
Oh
point.
my
And you're
Is
like,
this
god.
a
no, the fuck,
fantasy?
they don't. They don't have no point. They don't have no point. No, this
I
is it. This
know.
is what happened. This is what language is. This is what this means. This is what this word means.
Means
This,
that's it. You
like,
can't flip
I mean,
yeah,
it. You
and
can't
if you
yeah.
switch
can
it.
actually just go on Google and type what does quid pro quo means, people shouldn't have that much
They
trouble.
still are gonna argue down with you the definition of quid pro quo, though. They'll
I
say,
mean,
yeah,
it's
that's
in
what
the
it means, but it doesn't
dictionary.
apply, because
Why
it's
doesn't it
like they'll
apply?
say this is everything that quid pro quo means, and you can say that, yeah, that's exactly what happened. They're like, no, but
It
and
didn't
you're
really
like, and you're
happen.
sitting there, because the thing is that they have like a whole, like, a bunch of websites that they can go to. They have a bunch of shows that they can go to that will confirm that will give them that exact path towards lies that they'll
Mm.
just bring to you and not listen. Nobody
You know what
is
I find
listening to
funny?
anybody else anymore. You
So
can
if
be
you,
convinced that Trump is gonna get impeached. You can be convinced that he's guilty. Not one fucking thing is happening. We're gonna go
Ugh.
towards the election and he's gonna win
I
for
mean,
another
Oh my
4 years.
everybody knows.
god.
I'm gonna say that today.
Everybody, including Republicans, everyone. I'm not saying I'm not gonna talk about the uneducated mass that are voting for him, but I'm gonna talk about like all of the people on the Senate floor right now, everybody in the House, all of those journalists. They know he's guilty. They know for a fact that he is,
Of
but
course.
Bruh.
that doesn't matter, you know, because I think we are
Exactly.
at a point right now in the U.S. where yes, there was always corruption, but we are turning into
It's
a
in our
third world
face.
Hmm.
into
It's
a
in
third
our
world
face.
country. It's not even about being in your face. It's just okay. So third world countries, right? What do they do? What do the dictators do? They have their own news channels that tell you what to think, what to believe. They don't do anything for you, but they still go ahead and tell you that they are Christ like they
Hmm.
are doing everything and more, which is the promise kept that Trump has going on. And then
Hmm.
they talk shit about all of their rivals, and then they make sure that they put their rivals in danger, and then they attack whoever they need to attack. Yes, he's not at the point where
Hmm.
he's killing his rivals yet, but he's smearing them. He's doing like the whole campaign thing, like the whole prosecuting thing, like he's
Hmm.
attacking his rival. And then the other thing with third world countries is you're going to have whatever body of Congress or Justice Department don't
The
have
parliament, yeah.
that much power, where they're not separate branches at this time. They're just branches that work under the dictator. So you have all of these Republicans held house who make sure that people can vote, who make sure that they do their gerrymandering hardcore so that they never lose power, and so they can do whatever the president asks them to do, no matter how dangerous, no matter unlawful that it is. And then also you have the Justice Department, William Barr. Whatever Trump does, he can go out and just make like a statement and saying, "Oh, this wasn't criminal. There's nothing wrong with that." When the president gets investigated, what does he do? He goes and investigating the people investigating the president, which
Mm.
Hmm.
means all of the
Hmm.
power now is concentrated at the person, like the governor, like the government, like the chief person, which is like the president. Now nobody is gonna benefit, not even the other party, not even the private section, unless they are in cohort with the president, which means they can do anything that they want as long as they are under the president, and the president can dictate who he wants to stay, who he wants to go. And that's how you become a third world country politically. Because before, America was just meddling in everybody's election, but they always had integrity of their own election. And it's not like they never cheat in election, but it was internal cheating. But
Right.
now you have another country who's
Mm.
fucking you in the ass in your election. What are you now? Are you like the supreme power now, or are we just falling into being like we're just gonna become like another Ukraine?
And for me, I think even still, I think the main thing that's the scariest about everything that's happening right now is again this way of just not being able to understand what is truth. I think that's what's going to bring America down at the end of the day. Because ever since Trump had, like, started running for president and became president, it's always been one story. I'm the only one who can fix this. I'm the only one who's telling you the truth. I'm the only
Mm.
one. Fake news, fake news, fake
Mhm,
news, fake
mhm, mhm.
news. So now everyone who listens to him, and those are the people in America who got guns, okay?
Oh my god,
Um,
please.
the people
Please
who
don't talk
listen
about
to
that.
him only listen to him.
Yeah.
So therefore, anything that you could present as evidence
Mm.
is not going to be accepted. This entire thing that we're having, like, about whether it happened or not, in the same way that you said that everyone who's up there, everyone who's in there, everyone who's paying any 2 seconds of attention, anyone that you bring up to this entire story within 10 minutes can be like, what the fuck?
That's what I
Like, what are you
mean. Like,
talking
what do
about, right?
you mean?
However, it's still the very fact that he can, like, literally, he went out and he had like a little press conference
Oh
in the
my
middle
god,
of the
that little
street.
note. I can't.
I mean,
That
Jesus
thing means
Christ.
how you mean to tell me anybody with
What
a
is
common
wrong with
sense?
that
Not
man?
even that
You know what I
man.
mean?
What is wrong with
It's like the
people?
very fact that all of these things can be like right here, right now, and we still feel like for some reason I need a little more. I need a little more. Maybe
Yes.
this
I mean,
next
and
person who
nobody need a little
comes,
more. People are just
you know what I mean?
brainwashed.
Like
Seriously.
I need one more testimony. I need one more, email. I need one more this. I need one more that. For
Here's my
God's
thing
sake,
though. Whenever you look
like,
like, beyond presidency, you look at somebody's personality and you can see that they are a serial liar. They lie about everything.
Mm.
They lie about things that you can actually,
yeah,
like, they lie
compulsively.
in real time about things that
Bigly.
is obviously
They're watching their
untrue.
video. Like, you pull that shit up. You're like, this was you. They're like, nah. What you
And for
mean?
and
I
for
don't
I don't know that
recall.
man.
I don't recall.
I
for
don't know that.
anybody to be into someone like that and want to go for someone like, I deeply
That's
question
why I don't get
you.
it.
And that's what
Like,
I
And
mean.
I
that's why
could
I'm
And you
like, what's the
have,
point?
at least 50% of the voting population, like whoever is actually voting, 50% of them
Mm-mm.
think that
Mm-mm.
yeah, like some people will actually bring him in real time doing this lying in real time and still use that as evidence and still say that, yeah, he's telling the truth.
I
They
mean,
only listen to him. They already are at that point.
But listening
Therefore,
to
it's like,
him
they
what
makes
do
listen
no
you, like,
they
how
sense.
do
listen to
you
him so
exactly, so
hard.
like, what do you do?
They
What do you
listen
do?
to him.
Because I will tell you this, straight up, right? We go ahead and we're like, oh, okay, this is reality and this is what happened, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna impeach him.
Mm.
Let's say, even God forbid,
Way too late. Like 3 years
Prison.
the
later.
Senate, let's say the Senate actually removes him. Do you know what's gonna happen to this country?
First
Do we
of all, I'm
even
gonna
dare
be
to
in Haiti,
imagine?
so I'm taking the boat
You
back.
know, like, do we even dare to imagine? And also, it's like,
I'm going to Canada.
I
I'll
think
be
I think we're
fine.
gonna be fine.
it's already too far.
I think we already are in a country where people just get shut down every day. Like, people want to talk about
Yep.
how bad Chicago is or Detroit and
Oh,
whatever. Like, listen, like, at least most of those
to be aware of that.
most of
But
those like um thing like violence that are happening over there or due to gang violence or people having beef with people. Like, you
mm,
have people just randomly killing people. It's not
randomly
like
for no reason.
We don't only have like Americans to worry about, because at the end of the day, everybody is watching this happening, and America has got a lot of
Enemies.
enemies. So we're dealing with the fact that we can figure out what our leadership is doing, because right now Trump is roped
I
in,
feel like if
Pence is
everybody just
roped
go to
in,
jail.
Pence is roped in.
Yes, he
So let's say
is.
like Trump
That's why he went
goes
to
and
Iraq
Pence
though.
goes. Do you know who else is next in line? Nancy Pelosi is next in line. Do you think Americans will accept Nancy Pelosi walking into the presidency
I
right now?
mean, listen,
Yo,
it's gonna be
you're
only for a
not.
few months,
Or you think they're gonna
so
give a
you're gonna have to
fuck?
deal with it.
You think they're gonna give a fuck?
They
The only
will.
way I see that, like, people start feeling like actually walk back into reality is if Fox News
Please stop.
decides that, listen, you know
Fuck.
what?
I
We've made
can't.
enough
I can't.
money. We've made
That's
enough.
never
That's
gonna
not gonna
We've
happen.
had
work.
enough
That's
That's
ratings.
extremely
never
not.
gonna happen.
No,
Exactly.
that's not.
That's
Like,
my
you don't
point.
get it.
That's my point.
It's
That's my
completely too
point.
late now.
That's my
It's not even
point.
like not gonna happen. Even if it did happen, people would not believe
Fake
Fox News
news.
anymore. Reason for this is, like, sometimes when I go on Fox News, if they say anything that is
Against.
remotely neutral. I'm not saying something that's against. I'm saying something that's
Right.
neutral.
They
You
woke
can
a
see
monster
people
up
underneath
and
there.
they don't know how to fucking
They're like,
like
oh
kill
yeah,
that
like
fire.
yeah. They don't even care
Yeah.
for Fox News anymore. They
It's
just
like
like
when
we
white
just
people tried to like, get into the Haitian Revolution and like went and told the slaves about it. And then they didn't realize that like nous t'avons le petit fort na lago now. So yeah, it's like, oh,
No.
y'all was playing with some shit, right? This is the kind of country y'all
yeah.
created, right? Because you don't play with information. You have a democracy. You need to have good information. You need an informed citizenry. And if you don't have
You
that,
can't
it's
really
fucking
play for a state
absolute
of doubt and information
chaos. It's
too.
gonna be absolute chaos. And there's nothing that you can do about that. It's too late. So for me, I'm just
Is
sitting
this
here
the
and I'm like,
real
oh
I,
world?
shit, this shit is funny as hell, right? But this shit is
I
fucking
was about to
depressing.
say funny.
Like,
I just can't.
I
I can't
mean, it
watch it.
is
it's
both.
hilarious and depressing. That's what I mean. Shit. I'm entertained. Are you
No,
not
I ain't gonna
entertained?
lie. I'm
I'm
entertained.
entertained,
This is
bitch.
my point, though. I can't even watch it with a serious face. Like I get angry at the TV and then I start laughing because it's like
Yeah.
the things that comes
Me,
out of Trump's mouth. Not only does it make sense, people should question things. I'm the type that question everything. Right? Somebody come out with a speech and say,
I mean, you don't even have
bruh,
to question him
somebody
to
come out
realize
with
what
a
he's doing.
fucking
He's not
notepad
even trying to
and
be
say,
slick,
I want
bro.
nothing. I want nothing. Why would somebody ask you,
Why
what
do
do
you
you
need a
want?
note for
What
that?
if somebody, I have to ask you, what do you want? Why do you want something before you answer, I want nothing? Wouldn't that have been
Oh
a
my
conversation prior
god.
to be like, oh, I want no quid pro quo? Who says that at a random?
But here's the thing: when he said that, but in his, like the fact that he actually said
Yes,
the
who
word quid pro
says
quo
that?
itself, you already know.
Something
You
was
already
asked. There
know
was a
that that was like
discussion.
the line that
There
they
was
were
a
working like to
discussion.
cover things up just in
The
case
nigga
something
ain't
happened.
right, bro. Like,
And the second thing
And
is
he
that
had to write
that
that
phone call
down. He
happened
had to write this little piece down.
the day the day that the White House found out that Congress was about to investigate the hold on the money was the same day that Sondland called him and he was saying you want no quid pro quo. So he knew they were on to him.
of
And I
course
think
he
like a lot of
knew.
the
He
time
got caught. He got caught. That's what it
people don't
was.
think about timeline. Like it's not that difficult. Like you have to think about things not just in the context that they happen,
Right,
also in the
right.
timeline that they happen. Like because he made that phone call the day after Mueller testified.
Yeah.
And that was the same day that he went on camera saying like, I feel completely vindicated. And then that was a little like when this guy, I think on ABC or CBS, he's a very popular journalist who had an interview with him at the White House, and the guy was like, hey, so you saying that if another country called you
Mhm.
and tried to collude an election, you would do it again? You would not call the FBI? And he's like, you know what, I've never called the FBI all of my life.
He always put his own foot in
I
his own
mean,
mouth and nobody seems to notice.
I was like, and he was like, maybe I'll do both. I'll listen. I'll listen. There's nothing wrong with listening. It's like, bruh, like the person is telling you, like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, I'm gonna kill
Yeah,
you.
Trump.
I'm
He's
killing.
telling you. He's telling you straight up, and that's why for me, like, that's just like, what the fuck? Cause like, he is not trying to hide it. His people are not like the fact that Mulvaney walked out of there and was like, "We do this shit all the time. Get over
Oh
it."
my god.
And we're still talking about this. Like, we're still like debating this. The fact that there's any debate still is what scares me. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just here to find out by name who else in Congress
I
was in
mean,
on it.
as
I know that
Sondland,
something can bring out a lot of name, but
Tekashi
people,
Sondland-9ine.
I'm I'm talking about like people in Congress
Tekashi,
because
Yo.
I was
yeah.
reading the other news article
Who was in the loop? I
um
wonder who was in the loop.
where
Was everyone
this
in the
Mm.
guy,
loop?
who was it, Cermak, said that two people in Congress told him like to do what Trump asked him, which means I'm trying to find out if it's like Lindsey Graham because there's something going on there. Like shit is so weird. He started like, did you know that he started investigation into the Biden on Friday after Fiona Hill
Wow.
testified?
Of course he did.
I
Because it's like they're trying to like, okay, I was taking a shower the other day and I was like, left partners, and I'm like, who the fuck is left partners? Why am I saying
it
left
just came
partners?
out.
Why is that shit in my head? And I realized, oh, that's a guy who got indicted. Like that thing is
I
consuming my
can't.
whole
I can't.
brain.
I can't get into it.
This is
Nah. Mm-mm.
this is not good.
Yeah,
This is not
because I
good
don't
because like,
watch.
I mean,
I can't watch like actual like 24-hour news. I couldn't do that.
oh, I can't help myself.
Yeah, like I
I
can't
can't.
do that.
I've been
Like
waking
the
up and
most
that's
I'll
the first
do
thing
is
I
like the
do.
podcast. I'll read a little bit and then that's about it. Like I'm like, nah.
And it doesn't help that I have been sick, so I've been working at home.
So
That's
you
ooh,
get
that's the
good
shit.
tea.
That's how they get
You get
you.
that good tea
Because you're
right
putting
there.
that shit like just for noise and you're getting mad
Oh
while you're
my
doing.
god.
That's one of the reasons why I didn't know what left partners was, because usually I have it for white noise,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, who the what
Yeah,
what?
bro.
It's crazy because it's one of those things where you're watching a whole nation who used to be something,
Mm-hmm.
that used to be something, just crumbling right before your eyes, and it's like, dude, I'm not even in my 70s yet. Just like, wait until I'm ready to retire, then you
Mm-mm.
can go fuck shit up.
That's
And
the
it's
thing.
too
It's like, can
early
you
for that to
imagine 20
happen.
years from now?
I know shit's gonna be
I feel
bad.
like we went
Like
through
do you
that
even
Like,
think that
circle.
far?
like
I don't think
I
what?
that
feel like
far.
somebody
Like I don't
20
know if I
years
think that's
ago
like
probably
5 years.
was saying the same thing about where we at now. They,
What was 20 years ago? That was that was 2000. Were we
What,
saying that
Bush?
2000? We were not saying that in
damn
2000.
that 2000
We were
was 20
I
not.
years
mean, yes,
I mean,
we
some
ago.
were
Hold
saying
people
that Bush
thought
is an
some
idiot,
people
but
thought
not
God was
not to
coming
that
back in
level.
2000. That's true. But like not
on.
Right.
those
No,
people.
but
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen,
Everybody
even
else.
before,
Everybody
mm,
else.
there's so much
ugh,
money in politics right now where politics is not even politics
At
yeah,
anymore.
mm,
all.
Before, even like 20 years from now, like certain things happen. For example, look at the white nationalist who is currently working for the White House. He is a Jew, by the way, but
Stephen
for some reason,
Miller.
in his head, he thinks that
those are
he's
the
white
best
and
ones.
he's
They
a
Listen,
got a
white
little light skin and they
nationalist.
swear they white.
his bum ass.
Every time.
He's not black. We're
But
not claiming
anyway,
him. He's
this
white,
dude,
white.
like, no, 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 we're not claiming
No,
that dude. What the
that's
fuck?
not what
That's
we're
not
Okay,
what we
saying
doing.
here.
so
He's not light skinned.
here's
He
here's
white.
here's the thing. Like, a lot of emails came out that
I'm
500.
prove
sorry,
that
how
he
many?
is a white nationalist.
500.
Do you know it has been a week and a half? And do you know
Oh,
he still works at the White House?
they've been there.
He is the president's
20
speechwriter,
20
right?
years
And he
ago,
like the
20
communications
years
director.
ago, yes, he is. And he influenced a lot of
His message, like
uh
literally his mouth,
immigration
like his mouth is
uh
from a white nationalist.
policies for the White House right now. And people, it's just like 20 years ago, yes, the government was still fucked up, but there was a lot more consequences for certain things.
Hmm.
And um people
Bush
still
couldn't do
believed
the
in
No,
the
but
shit.
I
news
feel
back
like he
then.
Bush
set the
couldn't do the
Right.
tone.
shit because
People
right now the
but here's the
thing.
thing, like, people still believe in the
Yeah,
news back then. Like, when things like
but
that, like when news
And
like
it's
that
not
broke
just that
out.
though. Like at that time, right? Senators cared about the power of Congress because what they're doing right now is selling out.
mm,
It's selling out the balance of power that they have. It's selling
that's
out the
true.
power that they have to check the president. So like
They re-
they're weakening their power to put
Because
it
they're
into
being a
the
kiss ass.
executive,
They
saying
up
things
Trump's
like
ass.
Trump can be prosecuted, Trump can't do anything
that's true.
wrong, he can't blah blah blah. You're telling him he's
Yep,
a king. That's what
yep.
you're doing when you're not standing
I'm
up
pretty sure
and
there's a
saying
PP tape
like,
on each of them.
listen, this is not like a party thing
Right.
anymore. This
This is
is a
what they're not
branch of
getting. They're
government
not getting
thing.
that.
This is about democracy. This is about the nation, the
Because
actual
they
basis
really
of
think
the nation. It's not about partisanry. They're not there yet. Therefore, they're selling their power over. And that's what's scary
I think
because by then, even if, let's say, Trump is not
Mm-hmm.
president anymore and you get like a Trump
Mm.
V2, he already has
The
this
same
set up
division,
because
yeah.
we're based on
yep.
precedent. We have a justice system that's based on
That
precedent. So
is
he
the
has
most
Trump
scary part.
setting all of this precedent for you, and then you're just like, oh, and then someone can just waltz in now with even less resistance than Trump is meeting right now. And can you imagine that?
I,
Here's the other thing too. With
I'm yelling, guys.
what
Oh
they set
no,
it up,
yell,
it's just
yell for me
people
because this is one of the episodes
people
I'm just
didn't
like,
people
yep,
didn't think that
yep, that's it. That's what's happening. Yeah, go ahead.
people didn't think that he could be president, right? None
Oh,
of the Republicans did. Like they because they knew that he was an
come
idiot. It's not like they
on.
have
But
amnesia
he
now and all
said
of a
all
sudden
the
they forgot that he was
nobody
an idiot.
okay, I'm sorry. I know people voted for him. I know that. And I know America did not know everything that was coming, blah blah blah. And I know he whatever. He had a different point of view. But he set the precedent for drama so well that when something serious like this is happening, people like me who's not into politics get into it too late, right? Because there's Trump is always in the news for some bullshit that he's saying, some bullshit that he's doing way before he even got to be president. But guess what we did? We let him be. We let him be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every week we give him the
We
pass
Mm-hmm.
gave
for
him a
every
platform.
bruh, the person the
I mean, we gave him the platform
exactly.
to
And
be
he
a
kept
racist against
doing
Obama
worse and worse.
during
He
the whole
kept doing worse and worse. He
presidency.
kept saying worse things and worse things after another. The person was not even president yet. He's telling people grab him by the pussy. And everybody was like, bruh, that's just jam talk, right? So now you mad?
Well, that's
Now
because
that it's
I
going
mean,
too far, now you like, oh shit, that's attacking my pocket. That's attacking my country. That's attacking my family. I need to do something. Now you want to do that? He was telling you who he was before he was
well,
president, and you let him be. So now you mad when he has 9 months left on power. Like that's my point. That's why I'm like, oh, now you mad.
it, it's an I Claudius. It's a Claudius thing, Emperor Claudius. It's the guy that everybody in his family got killed except for him because they thought he was an idiot, and then he became the emperor.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with Trump. Where well, I mean, Claudius wasn't really an idiot because he actually had like a really good government. He was just like he couldn't move and he had speech
Mm.
problem and just people thought he was just dumb. But the thing with Trump is he would say all of those outrageous things, right? And he would go on TV and say all of those stupid things and how about how he would
Bruh.
fuck his
Like he
daughter if
said
his daughter
so
wasn't
many
his daughter.
outrageous things.
But 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 what I'm saying
Ah.
is around that time it was for
As a president,
entertainment,
as
TV
a fucking
ratings and
president,
all
this
that
is
good shit.
entertainment.
No, no, but
No,
listen,
no, I
eh,
got you.
no,
I'm
no, no,
just
no, no.
yeah.
Not as a president before, but I'm saying like people were giving him the airtime to say those things, so it becomes the norm. Like that's who he is, and people been accepting him. So when he was running for president, people just like, oh, he's just an idiot. Nobody's gonna vote for him anyway, not realizing that
Oh
there was
yeah.
actually a base
Have you
for
met
him.
America?
Now that he actually became president and the Republicans are realizing, holy shit, like people actually like that guy, they thought that, oh, maybe we need to align ourselves with him or at least let him do whatever he wants so that we don't lose our seats. Because at the end of the day, they just want to
Exactly.
be reelected. They don't give a shit. So they were like letting him do whatever he wants. And I'm pretty sure in turning the blind eye,
Hmm.
sometimes you become complicit or you become accessory to whatever. Now it's not even about like saving him
Yeah.
anymore. It's about covering your ass. And that's what's happening to Devin Nunez. And pretty sure that's what's happening to Lindsay. Like they are in some deep shit because of this presidency, and they're not trying to save him right now. They're trying not to go to prison because where he can just get impeached and not go to jail, a lot of the other ones
Mm.
can actually face jail time. There are so many people in his campaign right now that are in jail. He's in the Oval
Yup.
Office.
Everything he touches, everything he touches dies.
That's so
There's a
fucked
book
up to
about
on
that. I
so
think it's
many levels.
Wilson's book. Everything he touches, he's like the shitty Midas, right? Midas turned to gold. He shit. Everything he touches turns to shit. And everybody, and that I feel like that's what Sunland
I'm not
realized
going
too.
down with your
When he's
ass.
like, "Yo,
I'm not going
listen,"
down.
he's like, "Fuck that." He's like, "Hell, you
There
like fuck
was
that
a
nigga.
quid
Like, you think
pro
I'm gonna
quo,
be
But
bitch.
like?"
I think Sondland is still gonna
Of
get
course, as
jail
he
time for lying
should,
to Congress
as he
because
should.
even when he was spilling a lot of stuff,
I
he
mean, he
was
has to
lying
cover
about a
his
lot of other
ass.
He
stuff.
was. 'Cause they got
He has to cover his ass.
exactly. But at least he's giving the Democrats
He's
enough
giving
for
you
them
the
to like do
ammunition.
some
Yeah, he's
shit
like,
right
here you
now.
go. Here you
But
go.
yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna like kill myself
And
because I know I did a whole lot more than this, but I can
Nah,
tell you
Trump
about
really thought he
this.
was gonna get away with
I
this
mean,
shit though.
I wanna see Nunez in his orange
He
suit
might
though.
still get
For
away
Well,
with
at
it.
least the public. Well, I can't even say that because people are still blinded.
I mean, the public
Mm.
already know. Like nobody
Who the
fucking like
fuck doesn't know
nobody.
who the fuck Trump is right now?
Everybody knows.
Even
It's either
people
they
who
know they
support
accept it
him,
or
they
they know
know
they
they're
are
like, listen,
outraged.
so
You know,
what? He's fighting
Fighting
for
for us in
us.
what
So
way? That's
what?
what I want to know.
Who
the
cares? It don't
the
matter.
racist
It
agenda.
don't matter.
You know that those people they hate immigrants and they think Mexicans are gonna come and take their
They
jobs.
think
When
that's
they
the
see those
problem.
travesty that was happening at the border, you think they cared about the children? They didn't. They were plotting the
I
whole thing. They
can't. This
fucking
is why I
loved it.
can't do
When
politics.
he actually pardoned this guy who was convicted of war what was it of
Hmm.
war
Sorry, you lost. Oh.
war crime
Who?
when he this I don't remember his name. Like just last week, he pardoned this guy who was convicted of war crime,
Oh.
and he's threatening like to make sure that the guy doesn't get ejected from the Navy SEAL. People
Mm.
are applauding that shit. But in the same way, when he's they're talking
Ah,
about veterans this, veteran that. Oh yeah, he cares about the veteran. That's why he pardoned the guy.
with
The
the
same
same
people
breath.
are just talking shit about Vidman, who is also a veteran, who has a Purple Heart,
They don't
who
care
has
about
been
that.
in actual combat.
No.
They don't give a shit about the veterans. They just want their guns and they just want to be racist. And they like that person who's just going out there and just talking shit and just degrading everybody else and think that everything is for them. What they're not realizing is they are in an Obama era economy right now. And this shit is about to blow up.
It is about
They
to
think
blow
that
up.
because like a
Trump
lot of
came
people
in
think
and
like, oh
fixed
yeah,
everything.
in 2 years you can build an economy. You cannot build an economy in 2 years, but you know what you can sure as hell do? You can fuck it up. It's easier to fuck
Mm.
up your money than to gain money. It's easier
Mm.
to yeah. And Obama, it took a long time, and things that were
Mm-hmm.
said like put
The
in
many things
place
that he
for
undo.
coal miners, for like regulations, for national parks, and that he undo. Like this shit is about to go so bad, and it's gonna blow up in people's faces. But when the recession happened, you know who they're gonna blame? Whoever happened to be in power, not like the whole 3 years of backward steps that we have been taking. Nobody's gonna care about that. Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh well, when Trump was president, I still
Right.
had my
People
job.
don't
Now I'm
understand
losing
that
it."
concept. They don't
Excuse
understand that concept.
the shit. People don't like. I feel like people don't
Mm.
care about timeline at all, like at all. Somebody can fuck some shit up, and then you put in regulation to fix it. And while it's taking like everything is taking in, everything is
Mm.
progressing. And if it's progressing at 2%, and you're like, why is it still 2%? That guy said he was gonna fix it right away. And now, like in a few years, when it's like growing even like larger, and you say,
Yeah,
oh, it's
people
the
like
new guys that fix
microwave
it. I
growth.
mean,
They think
there's
things
no way
just
this
happen.
nigga could have. What does this black dude who is a lawyer who graduated in a prestigious school know about the economy? I'd rather go for this dude who who
Ugh,
sent his lawyer to threaten the school that he went to so that they don't publish his grade in
everything is
school.
right in
That's
front
the
of us,
guy that
and
I
we're
trust
still
with the
like,
economy.
oh no, maybe. Like, what else do you need? What more do you need? That's all I want to know. Like, I know you waited for so long for you to do it. I'm talking to the Democrats, whoever the fuck won the impeachment. You waited that long for it to happen, and now that it's here,
They
ugh,
didn't have the power
They don't.
because yeah, when you don't have the power, what can you do though?
Well, I
They didn't
mean,
have the power.
honestly, Democrats would not do shit even if they could, because
I
they
mean, the
are completely
Democrats, they don't
useless.
have any balls. And I feel like
Zero.
people saying that if I think if they could, they would have tried to like not even go
are you
with impeachment
serious?
at all. And
Mm.
yeah, I mean, have you ever
She
met
said,
like Democrats that have
Because
balls?
I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest, right? Trump being president has
"Hmm,
worked out for Democrats. They're
Mm,
mostly white people. It's not like they're
that's
getting
Yep,
their
true.
families
It's
deported. It's
not
not like they're
affecting them
getting
in any
hurt. It's
way.
like whatever.
that's true.
They get
And then
to raise a
you can
lot
say
of
that you are
money.
you can,
Exactly. As soon as you get to say, hey, I'm fighting against Trump, I'm fighting against blah, 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 that's like an easy fundraiser for you because everybody's
Mm.
stressed. The media is like you get to cover a lot of Trump, so you get people like Cass who can't get enough, so you get
Yep.
ratings.
Yep.
So
While we
you
focus on those big
you know
drama shits are
Trump has
happening.
been
and, and,
circulated.
and not only that
Yeah.
though, they get to say that they fighting, but hey, like I'm trying my best, but I don't have any
Mm.
power
Exactly.
right
So
now.
you don't
So
even have
they
to
get to
fucking
say
win.
they
All you
get
have
to
to do
say
is
Yeah.
without
fucking
Yeah.
doing.
try.
And they get to
Yeah,
had a
Exactly.
lot
they
of
get
shit
to
too
say a
because
lot
who
without
have you
actually
been
doing.
talking about for the past, few months? You forget whenever people focus on Trump so much, other shits are happening behind doors that you're not even paying attention to. All the laws that are changing, all the shits that are happening.
That's true.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing. One of the reasons why Republicans are staying behind Trump so hard is that they're just kind of running the clock out. You think they don't you think Lindsey Graham,
They're taking a
you think
new
Mitch McConnell don't think Trump is gonna go
Mm.
down with the ship? What they're trying to
but at
do,
least
but at the
he
same
gets
time,
to
they're
get all of
getting
the
so
judges
many
put in
different
place right
judges
now.
in place. They're getting
Yep.
so
Yes,
many laws
exactly. Under
passed
our
under
nose.
they're getting like so many restrictions like passed. So like by the time that Trump is
No,
out,
they
they
don't
don't
need
even
him
need
anymore.
him. They don't
Timoun,
even
me
need him.
map gâte pou lem
Exactly.
pal nan ti kob.
No, you're
Yeah.
good.
Sorry, my
It,
bad.
it's true. So much shit are happening.
Yeah, so it's like everything is working out for everybody who's in power right now, and the
Yep.
Democrats are selling the people, mouthpieces, and the Republicans are like, listen, fuck them.
Yeah.
They like black people. They like immigrants, so they're not for you. We're for
They
you,
cohort
and they're
with the people of
good. And
color.
Trump is like, listen only to me, and everybody else is lying to you.
This is
Therefore,
gonna be such a good movie. Like if I was still in high school, I would be so looking forward
man,
to read that
I
chapter of
kind
Right?
of
history
I
want
and
it.
really
shit.
I
wonder how
wish
they will
they could
portray
try
that in
to have.
history in the future time. I really, really want to know.
I vote
You
that
think they
Brad
would have
Pitt
a?
should have a
I,
role in the
I
movie.
really,
I want to see Mick
Uh, I
Steamy,
mean, in the
Mick
meantime,
Dreamy,
he's
and
not
Brad
funding
Pitt.
any kind of they're actually pressing the gas on climate change. So we
oh
might
my
not have a
God.
future
Why you had
otherwise.
to break me
So
down like
there's
that? You know how
that.
my brain works. Like, I was like,
I don't know. I'm looking forward to the end of the world because they've been saying Jesus is coming
you
for a
know
long time.
what?
Maybe this time Jesus
Yeah.
might
Okay.
finally come.
So Christians are like checking off a lot of marks right now. 'Cause there's fire, there's hurricane, the water is
The card
coming
game.
up. Listen, they're
Miracles are
checking off
I
all the
happening.
mean,
marks.
I
sometimes
mean,
the
Trump's
water is
So
getting
impeachment
bad,
is a
shit
guys.
is
Just
miracle.
working out for the pastors. Shit is working out for the pastors also.
Bro,
So, just to
Kanye,
let you know, like,
Kanye is
just
full
checking
blown
for that.
Christian
everybody
now.
winning.
Like, come on. Come
No!
on. Everything is happening. They told you people will
Uh,
repent.
I mean, the fish
No.
are dying
There's
and
nothing,
the water is getting
there's nothing left for bad
polluted.
police.
Like,
Bad boy, tipo killing this
yo.
man.
Shit.
Work on that
Nah, for
now, yeah.
real. Trump. Oh,
Listen,
it
I'm
makes
just gonna
sense.
wait for
It
the
makes
day
sense.
of,
It
you
really
know.
makes sense.
Maybe when it gets a
Nah.
little bit worse.
Nah,
Like we
I
got some
can't
time.
take any
We got
more
some
worse,
time.
okay? I'm already asking myself for everything. What's the point?
Listen,
What is the point?
I'm not ready to start my Sundays and Saturdays in church yet. I'm just gonna wait like until it's like close enough to be bad, like to be like
No.
the end,
If
but
Trump's
you know,
get
a little bit.
impeached, I'm going to church. I don't care what y'all say. If Trump get impeached,
You say you going to church
Vale,
if you get impeached, I'm
poco.
going to
bruh,
Rara. Ticket to
if
Haiti to
Trump's
Douane
get
de Fouye
impeached, I'm
Listen,
telling you, I am going to church. And I'm,
Gaga would be
hell
tired,
yeah.
lady. Like
Rara.
that Gaga is tired. Like after Trump
Nah,
gets like
nah.
down, like nigga.
Uh, I just
This
I
has
just
to
wanna
be a
Rara all
miracle.
the
Cause
time.
come on. You put that guy in power. Now you trying to take him out. Please take him out so I can go to church. You know, I'll do it.
I don't think America is there yet. Like I feel like the universe got jokes, right? And right now it's like No, I don't think we get
Ugh,
saved yet. I don't think shit gets to be fixed yet because I feel like you need to see a whole lot more. Because the very fact that people can't still
bruh.
accept that, like, shit that's happening in front of their
Mm.
ass is happening. Well, like, you haven't learned the lesson, so like, why would it stop?
And those next
So you're
candidates
just
are
gonna have.
I
using
don't
that
know.
right
Even
now. They are using that. I would never do a quid pro quo. Like, okay.
Mhm.
I mean, and then there are other ones that are saying that they're gonna do exactly how
Wait,
as
who
he
said
did.
that?
I mean, at this
I
point,
didn't
there
know
is no
that.
Republican Party anymore. Not Quid Pro Quo specifically, but like, okay,
Ah.
okay. What about Jeff Sessions, who, by the way, he fired, right?
Mhm.
And they were beefing, and now Jeff Sessions is trying to run for his Senate seat again. Guess
Mhm.
what he's doing for
What?
his ads? He's like
Are
putting his
you
MAGA hat
serious?
on, talking about how great Trump is and shit. Yeah, because like, come on. Like a lot of these people who are fucked up, don't forget that they are white and it's easy for them to register to
I
vote.
can't. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's easier for, like, there is a demography of people that it's easier for them to be able to vote
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
certain,
Yeah.
like, other people.
Mhm.
And those are the people that believe in those shit. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then you have the other people too that are so tired of the whole
Yeah.
system that they don't
I'm
even
not
want to
gonna
vote at
lie.
all, because it's like,
Let me see
for the
where Bernie gets, and I'm I'm gonna feel
Word.
the burn if he gets there.
I was watching like one of like those things, and they were like, oh, like there's this guy who said,
Oh, we
well,
could
Sunland
finish
did
with that.
not,
We could finish with
yeah,
like, who do we
did not
think?
kill
Mm.
himself.
No, what were you gonna say, guys?
Oh, go ahead. No, this dude was like, "Oh, Sunland did not kill himself, did not commit suicide. Might as well start now." Because they're doing the same thing for Epstein, who they saying that did not kill himself, and they're thinking
Oh
like
my
Sunland is
god.
about to get killed. This is
I
basically what we're living.
Well, who do you think might win the primaries? So we can,
mean,
like, I guess end with that.
Well, I know who they're trying to make win the
who?
primary.
Uncle
She
Joe.
said
They're
uncle.
trying to give it to Uncle Joe, but who the fuck won because like,
Bum
dude,
ass.
they're
Mm,
pushing it so hard, they're pushing it so hard
nah.
down people's throat, and I feel like this is the second mistake they're making, because they made the same mistake last
Mm.
year with
Yep.
Hillary, and they're about
I
to
got
do,
you. I
I mean,
got you.
not
Last
last year, last
election, yeah.
election with Hillary, and they're about to do the same thing again, because they're trying to s- to choose somebody
Yes.
for you in your face, um, instead of you letting you choose. I was reading on this thing that they're doing where they're talking about how the candidate now get to choose their constituent instead of constituent
Mm.
getting to choose the candidate, because what they do is they try to find out, okay, so what
Mm-hmm.
place have like the most immigrants and people with low incomes and people who this and people who that, and then they know exactly which message to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to those particular people to get them to vote for a specific person. So it's not like you chose to vote for that person, that's the person they chose for you ahead of time. You go vote for them. It's so fucked up, because like you just can't even do
And
right,
with
you can't
technology
do wrong.
now,
It's
it's
so
like
easy to
it's
Right,
like
target
a whole
you.
right.
different
So
game.
easy.
Right. Like ever since I've been watching, like ever since like the whole impeachment thing started, all I've been seeing on my news and whenever I'm like on YouTube or
Hmm.
whatever, like with those little ads, it's like, oh, take this survey now. And then one time I was so bored, so I clicked on the survey, and it was like, so what do you think about the impeachment? A, Democrats are
Oh
dumb.
yeah.
Two, Democrats are in the deep state.
So
Three,
smart
Democrats,
with the
and it's
question.
like, wait, what
So
kind
smart
of
with the
survey is
question.
this? I regardless of what you pick, it's still the same answer. Like, what kind of fucking survey is this? So I keep I keep writing, like, like in the survey when you can actually write in. I'm
Mm.
like, you guys are fucking idiots. I'm just hoping that an intern get to read my survey because it's just so dumb. And then at the end of the survey, it's like, donate now to
Ah,
stop the deep
hell
state from
no.
taking over the country. It's like,
Nah, you
eh.
straight. My money's staying in my pocket. I'm sorry.
Because what they're
So
doing is
who do we
they're
thinking?
targeting specific people who are watching the impeachment to make sure that they plant those seeds. Like they don't even give you an answer that even relate to your own opinion. They give you an answer relate to what
Mm.
they want you to think. And for somebody, like, even if you don't believe, if you're looking at those things
It
like day
starts
in and
sinking in.
and out, and just like this, yeah, that thing is like gonna
Yeah.
start sinking in your brain. So
So
they
we
went.
don't. So we
Oh,
basically
to me,
don't
I
know who's
I
gonna
feel
win. Is that
like
what we're saying?
Man,
Bird should win, but we shall see. That's where I'm at. I saw
What
your
about
post
you,
on
Sass?
Instagram. That's where I'm at too. We shall see everything that's happening.
I mean, I don't think anybody's gonna win the primary. I think they're just gonna pick somebody for the primary because right
Who
now
do you
the way
think
that
they're
it's
gonna
going,
pick?
I think I think they
Mm-hmm.
might end up
I was
picking
thinking the same.
Joe, but I think more than likely the people with the numbers to win the primary is
Mm.
Bernie and Warren.
What about you? What you think?
Yeah.
I
Mm. Mm.
for me, I don't know. I mean, I'm always so now like I'm kind of like back to like waiting for the apocalypse, you know. So I'm like, maybe tomorrow I wake up and that's when like Trump is like, you know what? By the way, we're not
Oh
gonna have a
my
fucking election. How
God.
about that?
I'm ready.
Like,
Canada is waiting for me.
I
Goodbye.
would not
I'll
even
see
be
y'all later.
surprised. I would not be surprised. No,
Yeah.
I would not be one bit
I
surprised.
will
rent
not
time.
You
wait
got
for the
impeachment
fallout. That's all I'm
time.
saying. I'll be gone before it happens. And no, I'm not going to Haiti because next thing
I'll
you
be
know, they
gone
go to Haiti and
after.
take over because that's what they do best.
I mean, climate change is about
That's
to
what I
fuck
mean.
Haiti
That's why
in
I'm
the
like, I'm
ass
not going
anyway. So
there.
what are you
I'm
gonna
not going there either. I'm going straight to Canada.
Mhm.
That's it.
uh,
Rent
First of all, I'm just gonna
time.
freeze myself until they send me to the new to the
Bruh,
new
yes. I've been
planet. Freeze
waiting.
my
They've
little
been
queen.
working on that shit for too long. I'm waiting.
They're not gonna pick
That's
I
so
bet they
us.
already
I'm
disrespectful of
letting
filed.
you to
y'all know.
say.
You know
It's
what?
gonna go by
I mean,
like top
if Trump
percent,
can be
top
president,
Let's
percent.
start.
anything can
Let's start
happen.
rent,
All right, let's go there. Let's
Mm,
go there.
okay,
rent, rent,
sure.
rent, rent.
Rent
Ah,
time. Coming up next is our new regular segment, Weekly Rent Time. Every week, after our conversation, one of us will rant about something that we just can't let go.
La gueule, non, on veut plus de violence. Black on black, zéro tolérance. Black Lives Matter. Je vais quand même te couper la queue. Tu pourras plus faire la file. Tu pourras pas les filer. Mon couteau est trop effilé. Moi j'en ai marre, je vous l'ai déjà dit. Y a pas que moi, y a surtout les esprits. Jusqu'à la mort, c'est ça la vie.
All right,
that
who
was.
got the rent
Thank
today?
you guys. Do I?
Vanessa should
How you
rent.
gonna just volunteer me and
Uh huh.
say that I have one?
I
Do
just
I have
did.
one?
But
Oh my god. I can't even think right now. I
why
can't
are you
even
so?
think because I saw that video a minute ago. Okay, so let me see if I can get mad again. Um, there's this video that I saw, a live video on Facebook about this white lady crying her tears out because she doesn't feel safe. She feels like a black mom from Target is gonna come to attack her in her car. A little backstory. They were shopping together. The black lady had a little girl with her or whatever, and then the white lady, like always, they think they're the center of everything, reached over the little girl without saying excuse me, just basic shit. And the black one was like, are you gonna excuse yourself, like this is a person, I know she's little, but you need to say excuse me. There was no touching, there were no fighting, there were none of that. They were just exchanging words or whatever. The white lady felt so offended that she called the police just for that. There were no fighting, there were no nothing, there were nobody separating them, none of that. She called the police. The police came and they were like, we literally have no reason to arrest that lady. Like,
They
yeah,
should arrest that
seriously,
white
they
lady.
should have,
That's what they should
but
have
they
done.
didn't. They were like, there's no reason to arrest that lady, so we're gonna let her go on her way. She felt so offended that she went in her car, went on live to cry and be like, she doesn't feel safe. What if that lady follow her and kill her and all that stuff? And I'm like, how privileged do you have to be
Wow.
to not only have the nerve to call the
Shit.
police on somebody that you know? And the reason why you called the police is not because you felt threatened. Right.
It's
It's not because you
attempted
felt
murder.
threatened. It's because you know based on what's been happening lately, if you call the cops, this person, yeah, you're trying to get her
Trying to
killed.
get her
This
killed.
person might not make it, right? So it just so happened that that police officer might have had some, donuts in the car waiting for him or whatever. He did not want to go to the trouble of doing that. You felt offended to the point of crying and be like, oh, my rights are being violated. I don't feel safe. And I just wanted to go to my fucking phone and choke the fuck out of her. Because, anyways, yeah. So that's what I'm angry about this week. I'm angry about white woman privilege and how stupid they are. That's it. That's,
I guess
well,
that's not
that's
just
just, I'm
today.
angry about that today. But they are stupid every day. We
Today.
know that. And they can come for me. I don't give a fuck. Y'all don't. Thank you.
We from the old school. Don't let them rope you. You running things, stay in your lane, wishing to smoke you.
Connecté à la zone. Ça qui mourit, ça fait aïe.
Thank you, everyone. And don't forget to tune in for our next episode next week on Wednesday.